Hey sports fans, Coach Nick here and welcome to BBallBreakdown. I'm getting really close to unveiling my team that's going to compete in the tournament for $1 million. And we had a nice surge of votes on Friday, but I want some more. We're pretty close to the top there, but we have one more push so we can get there and beat everybody. So head over there and give me a vote. Now let's talk about last night's Game 3, Warriors versus Rockets, because sometimes the question is can you hold down Clay and Curry for 4 games in a week and win a series? But the other question also begs to be asked, which is, can you stop Curry from going off 4 times in a week? And that's certainly what happened last night, and the Warriors already had a bit of a lead, so that was a real problem. And that's the issue with when you're guarding them, is that if you give them an 8, 9, 10 point lead, they start tossing up threes, and the way they shoot them, eventually those start to fall, and that 8 or 9 or 10 point lead becomes a 20, 25 point, and the game is over. On the flip side, if you get them down by 8 or 9 or 10 points, sometimes they say, all right, we're down, let's just start throwing up threes as well. So you're really in a bad way the whole time you're playing them with the way they can shoot it. And I'm going to show you, though, that there are ways defensively that you don't need to be in positions to give up those shots, yet the Rockets continually have done so. We had been saying that Kerr should give Clay a break and let Harrison Barnes guard Harden at least a little bit. The difference having Barnes on Harden was primarily size, as he has an over 6'11" wingspan and is an inch taller than Clay. The Warriors also doubled him more, and here shadow him with Bogut, forcing a turnover on a long skip pass made harder by Barnes' length. Curiously, Harden was a bit passive to start the game, which might have been the game plan to let some of the others get comfortable, but at the expense of Clay being able to get comfortable on the offensive end, where shots like this pull-up hadn't been falling too much for him, and he responded by taking 9 first-quarter shots. However, he only hit 3 of them. The Rockets' effort on defense right at the start was poor, as Josh Smith doesn't hustle to recover back on his man, Dwight doesn't fight for this ball, and Bogut gets the putback. And the switching. Oh, the switching. The biggest issue is with Josh Smith, and it appears that the Rockets wanted to switch every pick and roll with him involved, and the Warriors were more than happy to oblige. We've seen this in the other games that Smith gets out of position on the weak side, and a simple flare screen gets Curry a clean look on the skip from the post. The Rockets did get some nice action with this high post split. Harden and Terry read the defense, and since Harrison Barnes was in good position, Terry makes the flare cut. A great one-time back to Dwight gets him a ferocious dunk, but watch what happens on the way back down. It's not easy to see, but Jason Terry stands near the baseline, allowing Steph to get 5 feet ahead of him racing down court. Josh Smith is no match to contain him full speed, forcing Dwight to come over, but he is way too slow to move in the direction of the ball, which would have had him closer to Bogut. Instead, he goaltends the close shot. The idea that the Rockets would give up essentially a fast break basket like this after their own made dunk is unacceptable. Again, they kept picking on Josh Smith in the high pick and roll. Here's an example where they didn't switch it. An easy short roll for Draymond, and here's the issue. Ariza doesn't want to leave Clay open for a 3, so he doesn't rotate over. But that forces Dwight to step up, and an easy lob for Bogut. Ariza must rotate over. It's always preferable to give up a 3 than a dunk. This switching thing has been a problem for the Rockets defense all series, particularly on switches they don't need to make. Off their motion, the Warriors run the triangle corner option, and on the pick and roll, Smith again switches onto Curry. Whether or not you think Smith can handle Curry on the perimeter, it's the other switch, Terry on Draymond, that will kill you, as the Rockets play perfect defense to force the miss, only to give up the offensive rebound because Terry can't box out Green. Smith isn't sure if he should double, gets caught in between, and now the defense is scrambling. Ariza gets caught ball watching and loses Clay for a second. Harden is responsible for the backside on Bogut, but decides to wander up towards Steph. And Clay makes a gorgeous pass for the layup. Thompson did guard Harden, which is important for the Warriors as they give him multiple looks. And like we saw earlier, they shadowed Harden with a big. The stagnant offense allows the Warriors to get away with this, getting a deflection and a tough contest in the lane of a Jones shot. Scorers are at their best when they can attack quickly off screens before the defense can get set. Here's a great example of a weak side curl by Harden in a delayed fast break that catches Iggy trailing and Green can't stop it. Harden wasn't helping on defense either, helping one pass away on the post off of Klay Thompson. He gets away with murder when Klay misses, but watch his effort as he leaked out, then didn't sprint back to pick up Klay. Just a fantastic pass by Iggy. One of my favorite sets the Warriors run is the weave that results in a ball screen for Klay Thompson. It's a nice throwback to an earlier era of basketball, and they almost always score out of it, either with the wide open Klay shot or the lob to the ball screener. This is #basketball. The Warriors have a lot of triangle and Princeton principles in their offense, like this corner entry to the post, the passer screens at the elbow for the guard on top. Livingston catches Dwight out of position reaching in and hits Ezeli for the lob. More #basketball. Remember how well the Clippers ran high horns for Chris Paul? They scored virtually every time they ran it in the playoffs. Well, now the Warriors are running it, and it gets them the instant switch, so we get to watch Josh Smith chase Steph Curry around in circles. The Warriors exploit this matchup out top, and Harden had left his man in what appears to be his attempt at shadowing Curry, yet ends up doing nothing as Curry hits this crazy good finger roll. And I think we knew this game was coming to a close when Curry cut to the hoop and found himself with inside position on Dwight. This is just awesome to see a little guard box out the center and then prevent him from getting the rebound, plus free throws. Steph Curry, I salute you. We've shown several instances where the defense just didn't come ready to play hard enough, and if you let the Warriors have a bit of a lead, you're in huge trouble because they start letting the threes fly. It's a lot easier to pull this 30-footer when you're up 14. More high horns, doesn't get them the shot right off the initial action, but here's a beauty backdoor by Curry, and this finish is off the charts difficult over Dwight. One thing I teach about backdoor cuts is I try and have them use the hop so they can get their toes pointing a little bit more in the direction of the rim, since you can see how much pressure here Curry puts on the outside edge of the foot, which could lead to ankle sprains. Not only is his ball arcing over the height of the backboard, he's banking it in too. We showed you some Rockets defensive effort issues. Let's compare that to the Warriors, who are up by 19 yet bust their butts to contest this layup. Ariza doesn't hustle in for the rebound, and this leads to another fast break. Harden gets back screened blindly, ouch, and Curry gets the wide open corner three. Watch how he turns in the air, and now he's having fun with the fans on the sideline. Josh Smith seemed uninterested all game. Here he's jogging back. Had he sprinted, he'd have been in position to contain. Instead, he reaches, Steph blow-bys Terry, and this time he does it lefty over Dwight Howard. I mean, this is the most difficult finish you could possibly shoot, and he makes it look effortless. Look where the ball hits the backboard, for heaven's sake. The drag screen in transition will kill you, and the Rockets had to switch this. Jones can't stay in front, and he does it to Dwight again with the right hand. Doesn't use the backboard this time. Wow. And to add insult to injury, Harden gets to the hoop versus Klay, should have gotten a foul call, but this turns into a 5-on-3 fast break. Klay takes advantage of the closeout, but Dwight erases this shot. And to show you how much things were going the Warriors' way, the ball just happens to find Curry in the corner, and he puts the nail in the coffin and makes sure the Rockets fans understand that this game is over.